Hey, it's Michelle with some kitchen inspiration. I'm making Tuscan salmon for dinner tonight. Thought I would share. I'm also making veggies and rice. But I wanted to show you my 12-inch stainless nonstick skillet. 15 years old. You can tell when you look at the bottom because it's been around a while, right? But the inside, there we go. All right, getting my pan kind of covered here. And I need a fork. All right, so first step is to sear the salmon. So I'm gonna get that in here. To sear each side, so I have it on like pretty high, okay? And the next thing I'm gonna do is take a couple of paper towels and lay it on my cutting board. And I've got sun-dried tomatoes and oil. I forgot to look to see how much I needed. Let me see. About 1/3 of a cup, okay? So I'm gonna take these out of here, put them on a paper towel so that they, some of the oil gets removed, okay? So I like the sun-dried tomatoes and oil because if you use them out of a package, they're like freeze-dried and then they're super dry and hard. And they're hard to cook with. You can do them that way. You gotta like soak them or put them in something that's really, really liquidy, okay? So I just think they're easier to deal with if you do them like this. And not every recipe calls for you to drain them. And I know this cutting board's not clean, but I'm going to use it anyway because this is going in with the fish, so it doesn't really matter. It's going to go in there anyway and get cooked. If this was not going to be cooked, I would definitely not use the same cutting board. All right, so I've got my sun-dried tomatoes. I'm going to just kind of give them, I want them a little bit smaller than they are. I'm not super particular about it. That's why I didn't line them up perfectly. Okay, I'm using my 5-inch Santuco knife from my forged cutlery set. If you prefer the black handle forged cutlery set, if you prefer the gray handle, you want the new Foundations knife set. They don't have this exact knife in that one, but it has the 8-inch chef's knife and the 5-inch utility and the bread knife and the paring knife, okay? You could always buy this specific one separately. All right, got those nice and chopped up. Just realized I forgot to take out my garlic press, so I gotta wash my hands because they've got oil all over them. And let me take my garlic press out. Before I do that though, I'm going to see if my fish is ready to flip. I don't want it cooked all the way through. We're going to cook it in the sauce. We just kind of want to brown it. Gonna rinse that spatula off so I can use it again. And while I'm over here, I'm going to stir my veggies. So I want them to cook evenly. Okay, garlic press. That was the next step. So this recipe calls for 4 cloves of garlic. I've got a head here. 1, 2, 3, 4. What did I do with my knife? What did I do with my knife? Oh, it's back there in the sink. That's why I couldn't find it. I always like to cut my garlic in half. I just think it makes it easier to press. You don't have to peel your garlic when you use our Pamper Chef garlic press though. Just pop them in there. Take your little Barbie hairbrush off. Kind of aim it. Scrape it, open it up, and the Barbie hairbrush will take the paper out for you, okay? Makes it very easy. Whoops. So we're gonna press all 4 cloves of garlic. The other ingredient that is gonna go into this, which is already prepped and ready to go, is some green onions. And the reason for that is I bought them last week. You know, when you buy green onions, you always have to buy way more than you need at one time. So So I always take whatever I don't need for that specific recipe and cut them up and put them in a Ziploc in the freezer. So I just went in my freezer, grabbed my Ziploc, took out what I needed. Just a good way to not waste things. Actually, I hate wasting stuff. Okay, there we go. All right, now I gotta grab a plate. And I'm gonna move my fish onto it. Just for a few minutes. I'm gonna take it out of the pan. Looks pretty good. It's about halfway cooked. I'm sure you can see that. All right, so now I'm gonna add my sun-dried tomatoes, garlic, and green onions to the pan. There's already olive oil and butter in here. If your pan has dried out and you wanna add a little bit more, actually I think I am gonna add a slight bit more of olive oil because it's a little dry on that one spot. And we just kinda wanna give this a stir. You don't want the garlic to get brown, but you want it to start smelling good. I'm gonna turn this temperature way down because I had it up pretty high. Ooh, this already smells so good. Okay. Now I'm gonna add a cup of light cream. And a quarter of a cup of grated Romano. Oh, my container does not want to open. Got to use that same measuring cup that I had here before from our measuring cup set. I put a quarter of a cup of Romano in, and I've got my silicone sauce whisk, which is great for your frying pans because you don't have to worry about it scratching them up like your regular baking whisk would. Ooh, that smells good. Let me make sure I put all the ingredients in. Yeah. All right. So that looks good. So now that everything is back in the pan, I'll turn this temperature down even more. And I'm going to take my salmon and put it back in here. I always like to flip it because, you know, the ugly side was facing up because that was the side that had the skin on it. So I want to serve it with the nice side facing up. Okay, that's gonna sit in there. Get rid of that. And the last thing we're gonna put in is 2 cups of fresh spinach. Got 2 packages open here. All right, cover this up with some fresh spinach. I'm going to put the lid on and I'm going to let this wilt and let the, what is that called? I'm going to let the salmon finish cooking. Oh, this isn't the right lid. That's all right. I'm going to stick it on there anyway. I have like 45 lids to go with all my different pans. But, all right. So that was basically the whole recipe. Super easy. Really delicious. I'm serving it with some brown rice that I made and some veggies. Nice healthy dinner, but it feels like a high-class dinner because, you know, cooking the salmon in the juice, in the cream sauce like that, feels like you're in a restaurant. So hope you enjoyed this. If you want to save this recipe so you can refer to it later or share it with your friends, go ahead and hit share so it goes on your timeline, and then it'll be in your saved info for your on your Facebook page. Make sure you follow me on Michelle's Kitchen Inspiration here on Facebook and on Instagram, and especially on YouTube because that's where the library of all my previous videos are. Michelle's Kitchen Inspiration. Thanks so much. Have a great evening.